tell you about this vision.
Mm-hmm.
The vision that I had that was a while back.
Okay.
Never really told anyone the full story of that vision, but it is a vision whereby I was standing with a former this guy basically the pastor going by that side of Kansanga, and I was standing with a friend of mine.
Okay.
Then the voice of the Lord is heard rumbling. I cannot describe how loud that was, and yet so clear. You know, when sound gets so loud, there's a way it gets distorted. But when you hear thunder, thunder is one of the clearest sounds you can hear. That's loud. But when you're in a loud place, the sound tends to get distorted.
Yes.
So now, when you hear when I heard the voice of the Lord, thunder seemed to be a sort of sound.
Okay.
It was so loud that this rumbling thunder when we are having the thunderstorms around here, so loud that kids run away and even adults run and hide.
That sounds like an earthquake.
It sounds like it's going to tear the earth, or the sky is getting torn. Louder than that. That is how loud the voice of the Lord was.
Okay.
So he calls the first time, and I rise. I see myself going up in the air with this pastor. So when we leave, we reach one point, and then the voice of the Lord calls again. Because we were 3 on the ground, we rose, and then now we were 2. So where we reached that first level, the voice of the Lord called again. So when the voice of the Lord called, I now left him at that level. I was high.
So it was just you.
Yes, as
The third.
Then that was the second call.
The second call.
Yes. On the third call, I rose again higher. Because when the second call, it seemed like I was seeing the clouds below me. So there I was alone. I'm seeing the clouds below me. Then another call comes, again equally as loud. And he was calling my name. I could just say I'm called Brian. When he called Brian, I don't know why I went up with the pastor. Okay. It was a pastor of a deliverance church. So we rise up, first level. I leave him there. I rise up again, and I'm seeing clouds below. Then he calls again. I rise further up. Then when he called the fourth time, I found myself on my knees, facing down. Now below me, there was something that was transparent. It looked kind of like glass, but then it had a shine about it, like it had a fire within it. And then it looked like gold, but it was so wide, like everywhere I would look on all sides. That's all that I could see, the glass. But that is why I'm bowing down, so I could turn to the left and see, and then turn to the right and see. As far as I could see, it was just flat ground, like on glass, like marble kind of. It looked like a thick, transparent glass, but it seemed like it had. The description would be very difficult. It's like there was fire and that gold. All of a sudden, the fire was golden and covering the whole ground. So I knew I was by the throne of God, and yet I now had a curiosity within me to look upon the Lord.
Okay.
And then lifting my head, seemingly different. Like I would try to lift my head.
It was heavy.
No. You see, that's when I learned that when you come to the presence of the Lord, the glory, the holiness of the Lord, you don't have to be told to bow.
Okay.
You will be overwhelmed by the holiness, the presence of the Lord. So when you hear that the angels in the presence of the Lord cry out, holy, 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 It's not because they don't have what to say or they are that idle, but because they get overwhelmed by being in the presence of the Holy One. So all you can say is holy, holy. You find yourself in a deep place of worship with the Lord. So I was also caught up that way. But then I also have this natural curiosity within me. So I tried again, lift my head. So when I tried to lift my head, that is when I arose. I woke up.
From this vision.
I had gone to bed by the time I had this vision, and I went to sleep. Lay down properly, sleep. So before sleeping, my routine was pray. You've prayed while you are awake, but when I would get into sleep, I would get into sleep while praying. So sleep would overtake me while I'm praying. So when I get to sleep, I would actually continue praying. My soul kept in prayer. Get it? So when these voices, the voice of the Lord came calling, I could hear it clearly, as loud as it was. That's what I tried. So when I tried again to look at the Lord, it's when I was now rushed back to my bed.
How long ago was this? In which year was?
It's a few years ago. So when I lifted my head, when I lifted my head in the presence of the Lord, I tried to lift my head, and then I woke up kneeling on my bed, lifting my head. So when I lifted my head, I realized I was actually kneeling on the bed. The last I had seen in my flesh was I was laying down going to sleep. Now I wake up, and actually what wakes me up and I come back into my senses is that the mosquito net which was over my bed touched my head. I felt something touch me. Then I realized I am kneeling on the bed. In the presence of the Lord, everyone will bow down. So in this particular incident, I had a heavenly experience. I found at one point I wondered, have I moved only in spirit, or did I actually move in the flesh? Then I started to realize that actually a man can travel in spirit with his flesh once you have Christ with you. You get it? So people are afraid of things as such as teleportation. There's nothing that the devil has created.
He copies.
That's the best he can do. So when you hear people in the occult and other things doing teleportation, it is not required of them. It is not a gift to them. This is a gift to us men. And we do it because we are in the image of the living God. So at the time when I got up, all I could do was smile, filled with gladness. I've been in the presence of the Father. So that was one of many. I still long to go back. I still long to have more encounters in the presence of the Lord. But that one was one of those that stuck out.
The first.
It wasn't really the first. The first time, actually, what I saw were cherubim. I saw cherubim. I didn't understand what I was seeing. I didn't have any fear in me. But I saw something with the first see the face, and then the face turns and you're seeing a cow, then you see an eagle, and you don't know what exactly you're seeing. You start wondering, and having been in around deliverance churches, you start casting out what you don't understand. So I had seen a few things before then. And even then, when I told this deliverance pastor, he told me, "Oh, those are demons." And then I started to understand, well, this is a guy who is a deliverance pastor, but he has never had a moment with God.